I'm co-host James Ash.
And I'm co-host Phil Scaife.
Welcome to the Business Lockdown. So welcome on today's show, Business Lockdown, Angela Morgan. Angela, I spotted, well, we haven't been in touch for a few years, but recently been in the press with a brand called SeaMogens, and it's a very ethical, sustainable swimwear brand. And I just had to get you on the show and see what is going on. And so welcome to today's Angela. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm good, thank you. In a bit of a whirlwind at the minute. Everything's crazy. It's a very different year to any other one. But yeah, really good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No, so in the Air Force, nearly 18 years in the Air Force, and yeah. I do know you're hard as nails. You've got some boxing ability, history behind. I know that, but so we've got Air Force to boxing and to an ethical swimwear brand. So let's talk about this brand right now. So how has this come about?
So basically, like, me and my sister have always been lovers of the ocean, of the seaside since we were little. We've just loved everything about it. We're both scuba divers. She's obviously more of a high-level scuba diver than me, been doing it a long, long time. Both extremely terrible surfers, and both just love the ocean. And so while she was diving and stuff like that, she's noticed like a lot of plastic pollution, and she just kind of started looking into making swimwear because with her job, she's in it all the time, and some of it doesn't last the longest, shall we say. But she thought, people are making these swimwear made out of recycled plastic. She's like, she had really good ideas for design. She's actually got a background in fashion. She has a degree in fashion, but she quickly realised that with where the fashion industry was, it just wasn't for her. Do you know what I mean? So she started making bits of clothing, bits of swimwear, and then she got to give some to her friends for presents, and she kind of like told me about it, and I was like, I'm down with this. This is really cool. I saw her designs and fell in love with them. She's really, really talented. And what just started as a really tiny little idea from my sister has just ended up in what it can only be described as her amazing business idea, and it's just magnified from there. It's been a crazy year.
Give it COVID, so COVID has literally give you guys a kick.
Yeah, it's give us life.
All for the better, right?
Yeah, it's made us think, right, well, what's the point of sitting around doing nothing now, like doing like not using up this time. We've got all this free time to ourselves to really, we can't do nothing with it. Let's do something really productive with it. Yeah, I mean, people weren't buying necessarily, but there are other ways and means of launching a business than just selling products. You've got so much legwork to do, background, SEO, digital marketing, social media. There is a whole plethora of things that you can be doing. Just get on with it, and we did.
So tell me, give us a little bit of insight into, it sounds like there's a lot of new skills that you've had to grab hold of and develop. I mean, what does that look like? Have you enjoyed all of it or any of it?
There's been highs and lows, let's put it that way. And you know what, I love learning something new. I love a challenge, and I love learning. Right. And so to take on all this information and to know you're doing it to benefit me as well, to benefit us as a business, it either drives you or it doesn't. And it's just driven us to learn more and more. And the learning curve has been huge, and we've made mistakes, don't get me wrong. We've done things we think we might have done differently, and we just had to reattack it. But it's better to learn it at the beginning and do it, and then know how to change it and just go on from there. But I've really enjoyed the backgrounds of website and SEO and things like that. It's intrigued me, because before you do this, you think you put a website up and off you go. No, that is far from the truth, and it's so much harder work than I ever thought it was going to be.
And if we look at you and your sister, how has the development looked like? Have you equally gone at tasks and then realised one of you is more suited to a certain part of the business, or have you gone straight off the bat and think, right, okay, you're definitely better at this than I am. I'm happy to give that a go. How has that looked?
To be honest, we're very opposites, which has been quite perfect in a business sense. So she's very design, and that kind of thing, and finding materials, and she knows the fashion world, which I don't know any of. And she's also better with the social media and photography, because she was in Bali a lot of the time, so her photography and stuff like that. Whereas I was more interested in the customer service and the marketing and the SEO and the website kind of thing. So it's fallen into place quite nicely, and we both we have a little bit of a grasp on what each other's doing, but we've divided ourselves pretty well, actually. worked out fairly well. And I think that's just a different personalities that we are, that has allowed us to do different parts and different aspects of the business, which has worked perfectly.
That's awesome. And is your sister away at the moment, or is she back and you've actually been physically working side to side, or has it been a lot of Zoom calls?
A bit of both, to be honest. She's back in the UK now. She was in Indonesia. She tries to split a bit of a time up, obviously, because it's easier there with photo shoots and stuff like that. So, but at the minute she's back here. So yeah, we've been getting together. There's been a lot of business meetings on Zoom, but yeah, and a lot of coffee drinking business meetings.
Well, awesome. Well, give us a bit of insight into, so before, we'll come back to business and the crazy world of business that we all find ourselves in under these strange times. But so Air Force and boxing. So what has that life been like for you, and that journey?
I feel like a different person at the minute, actually. So I've been through all my Air Force, and I've loved every minute of it, done the boxing and things like that. And then I think when I settled down, I've got two little kids, 1 and 3-year-old. When that happened, I think it just totally changes everything in life. And that's an amazing part of my life. And I just look back at it and it just feels like a lifetime ago now. So I'm a lot more chilled now, still loving the Air Force life. But yeah, I'm loving mum life at the minute, to be honest, as well. I absolutely love it. And with COVID and stuff like that, I know it sounds like probably cheesy, but I've got to spend a lot of quality time with my kids when they're normally in nursery. And so it's been a learning curve in that part of my life as well, learning how to like have them full time. And I think they teach me so much in life as well about who I am, and they teach me to be a better, more patient person. And I think that benefits in me in every aspect of life, which is really nice. So I've been looking at all the positives really, and I think that's really helped me in life, because I think it's so easy to get weighed down by negatives, and then once they start coming in, they spiral, don't they? So try and be as positive as possible, and just it's been a crazy life actually. When I look back at it, when, like you say, the boxing, the Air Force, now the kids and the ethical swimwear, it feels like two different people.
So Angela, what's your role in the Air Force, and has that always been the same, or has that changed over time? I mean, I'd imagine over 18 years it's changed somewhat from when you first started.
It has and it hasn't. It's always been kind of the same. Always been the same trade, whereas there's like air traffic and operations, and it's kind of, you move around a bit, but the job role, it doesn't really change that much. It's kind of the same everywhere you go. You do a little bit of training, but it's just the same. Yeah, it hasn't really changed that much for me at all.
Okay, and what's your working day normally? Are you normally Monday to Friday, kind of 9 till 5, and that's I think you said before we recorded, that's changed somewhat in terms of working. Have you been working from home, or you've just had time off at home?
I've had time off at home, to be honest. We were working we're very, very, very fortunate to be working week on, week off. So that kind of just to keep like the two different shifts in. So if anything happened, you've got that backup plan, because obviously we're key workers, so we were delivering essential like business. So we kind of just had to do the best we can and make sure that we can still keep business running as such for the Air Force. But it's just been kind of constant. Some Mondays, Friday, just normal days. Okay,
and what has it been like, kind of spinning plates from your career to your business to family life at home? Our guests, we've been speaking to a lot of guests, and your children are younger than some, but this kind of, you have friends that are homeschooling, and a lot of people felt like they haven't really been winning because of they've essentially not had the family life balance right, because they're not able to commit fully with that. Likewise, if they're either working on business or having to leave the family at home with the partner homeschooling. I mean, how has it been spinning plates with?
It's been, I mean, it's finding the balance. Once you find the balance and you crack it, it's fine. But it's finding that balance. So obviously the kids are in nursery and things like that. My other half looks after them a bit, and it's finding the time. So like, obviously I've got my day job, then I come home on a night, make sure I spend some time with the family, put them to bed. Then they go to bed fairly early, so I can manage to get a few hours work done on a night. So I'm quite lucky in that respect. They'll be in bed by 6:30, 7. It took me a long time to get to grips with how to do it, all at once. But once you've got a kind of a good rhythm, and make sure that you explain that sometimes, as long as mummy's had, mummy children time, then mummy get to have some business time now, because mummy's trying to build a life. Do you know what I mean? And they're very fair like that. And my other half, James, he's very fair with it as well. But it's once the plan's in place and you've cracked it, it all just starts happening. But oh my goodness, it's absolute chaos until then. It's like, yeah, I'm working now. Okay, yeah, but, I'm like, I'm trying to do a business meeting, and Rosalie will run in, mummy, and I'm like, no, James, please take the kids. Yeah, but it's calmed down now. I finally got in my groove, so it's really nice.
Yeah, the thing that we found with most people has been routine, whether people have managed to kind of maintain a similar routine or adopt a new one that's structured and successful, or just struggling with having any sort of routine. Yeah. And I think that has certainly, you said that on a lot of episodes, that has certainly been the biggest problem. And it sounds like that clearly, once that fell into place, you know, everything calmed down and settled. And how have you kept yourself in check during COVID? You know, so you've got work, you've got this new business, you've got your family to take care of. I mean, how do you then ensure that you keep in check to be energised and focused?
You know, I don't know. I think making sure you take time to make sure you like maybe take half an hour going to the gym, a bit of mindfulness, just generally making sure your head is in the right place. And I think as a mum, you feel like you can do it. And if at any point you do feel like you're struggling, the point is to tell someone, do you know what I mean? Like, and notice in yourself. But I feel like my family is my me time. Is that cheesy as well? I feel like that's what does keep me in check. I feel like if I wasn't doing that, like, then I would maybe be a little bit more crazy. But I do feel like the kids keep me in check a little bit as well, and I feel like that is my me time.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, where do you see the business going? I mean, it's early stages now, but there's clearly been an acceleration during COVID, and you kind of, you know, when you look at a question like that, how easy is it for you guys to have a vision when we're in this, you know, this climate, these uncertain times at the moment? I mean, there's clearly a lot of positivity with you guys and the brand, and I imagine that is steamrolling the vision of the brand. But I mean, what does that look like, and how realistic are you with that vision?
I think you have to be realistic. I think goal setting and things like that are really important. So, like, the sky's the limit as such, but I think you have to take it step by step and be realistic with your goals. But I think a lot of the time, things like your own self-belief and stuff can get in the way. And if you don't believe, then you're never going to achieve it. So I think from my point of view, I feel like we can just carry on going. Do you know what I mean? And just make it in any way, shape or form we can. Just try and keep that going until I don't know, until someone tells me not to, I guess. But yeah. It's all about belief, self-belief. Do you know what I mean? And goal setting, and not really thinking too far. Like having your business plan, like short term, long term, medium term, but taking it step by step and not trying to get bogged down with the long term stuff before it's due, and just really reaching your goals, and then not getting ahead of it all. I think you can really become overwhelmed if you try too much, and overwhelm causes brain block big time.
Yes, true. Well, I mean, we come out of this. Where are you selling at the moment? I mean, the question I was going to ask was, you know, where do you see your biggest routes of sales long term? But I mean, let's look at the now. Where at the moment are you? You know, have you got your web? Are you selling off the website? Have you got your own socials? Have you got other people, influencers and affiliates on board?
So we've started doing the ambassadors. So we've got a few ambassadors that we've taken on. We sell from the website. We have also, when my sister's in Bali, she has stock in Bali. So she has like lots of friends that are divers that work on liverboards and stuff like that. So they had advertised for her as well. We're managing to get like round the world custom at the minute, which is ridiculous. We get some orders in and we're like, oh, I wish I was there. But so we've got a lot of, like, obviously the girls at Scuba Girls, the affiliates there. So there's lots of little things. We've got the we're big on. We've really pushed Instagram at the minute. Instagram seems to be where we are. We feel like it's a platform where you can really niche your market, and you can. I know it's hard. They say it's hard to sell on there, but if you really niche down your market and like you know who you're aiming for and you do your engagement and things like that, I think it's really quite a really big tool. Instagram, actually.
Yeah. Well, how does Instagram look like to Angela? I mean, how sales heavy are you compared to lifestyle focused? And is there a strategy right now to either, if you're more lifestyle focused, to then switch that at a certain time, or continue to review your stats and what your audience is saying?
I think it's a big balance of everything. I think an audience is like a big key point, but I think we try and you advertise without advertising, if you know what I mean. So you'll put a picture of yourself in a bikini, like of one of our models in a bikini, and that won't be what the picture's about, but there will be, you know, so it's pitching a sale without pitching a sale, if that makes sense. So, but then also like social proof, stuff like that, or like reviews, all of these good things that again are building your like trust to your customer base. But I don't think going too sales heavy is a way forward, really. People don't want to be sold to. They want to it's like you want to make your own choices, especially nowadays. It's so hard to sell, like give a hard sell to somebody. People will buy to you through their own choice.
Well, that was the thing with COVID. We saw so many people just giving away free stuff, free advice, free services, free products. Yeah, as you said, nobody wants to be sold to, especially during these times. And a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs in business that just stopped invoicing and said, right, to their customers, I'm not going to invoice you for the next 3 months. So I was just like, really? Wow. How awesome is that? I mean, yes, to be in a position to be able to do that is awesome. Yeah, but then, yes, they're in that position, and just to go, look, we're in this together. I'm in this for the long term, and I want to make sure you're okay. So we've had really good stories of that. Tell us about the ambassadors. So who is an ambassador? What does an ambassador look like? What do they do? How are you working with them as a brand?
Do you know what? So we were really new to this world of ambassadors. We got approached by a few people. So Sandy Hemmel, and who else have we got? God, now you're asking me. We've got a few that we've only just started with, that we've only just sent some swimwear out. But Sandy was our first girl. So basically, she has some swimwear from us, and she'll just take pictures, and it also gives us some more like content for media and stuff like that. But they basically spread the word of mouth of our brand, and you know, kind of they have to be people who value our core ethos as a brand, and you know, stand for what we believe in. A lot of them are obviously scuba divers, because that's the world that we apparently big in, and which makes sense with Michelle being a scuba diver. So yeah, the ambassadors are brilliant, and it's because when they approach you as well, it's a genuine thing. They're not just looking for something from you. They usually say to us, we love your business, we love what you stand for, we'd love to represent you. And we're like, if you'd love to, yeah, and you can give us some great content, then yeah, like we're always looking for things like that. It's a really good way to showcase your business and get your word out there, because word of mouth, there's a lot to be said for word of mouth when it comes to business and things like that.
And reviews are key as well. Reviews are key. We were on a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying about they were showcasing a really big brand, and they were talking about how likes and comments are one thing, but reviews are so much more powerful now. And and if you look at like an ambassador, it's almost like a super grade review, because especially if you've got some sort of journey that people can follow with your brand as well. That's like super powerful. You mentioned that you were part of, was it Scuba Girls? What was the
Girls at Scuba? So there's a group on Facebook and on Instagram with Girls at Scuba. Basically, they've got a few different groups now, and they're literally just a group of females that all have scuba diving in common, and just share like pictures and things like that. It's a fantastic little community, and they've really built an amazing community there. And it literally is our brand in a nutshell. You know what I mean? It's so suited to us, but it's a fantastic little community. And the girl Sarah Richard, who started it, is a really lovely girl, and she's built something really amazing there. A lot of the girls go to her for it.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. And we were one of the webinars that the team and I were part of, and they were talking about like major influencers compared to micro influencers. Yeah. And actually, there's a lot to be said now about approaching the 1,000 to 3,000 level. Well, they may not even consider themselves influencers. They're just on social media, and 1,000 to 3,000 people like what they do. And actually, because they've got that kind of small following. Although that's big for some people, it's more engaged in terms of engagement. They're a lot more engaged and invested into that person than, say, like someone who's got 3 million, because, you know, in terms of a percentage. So there's a lot to be said now about working with 6 micro-influencers compared to one that has the similar level of followers with those combined. So it really is successful. And often when you approach someone with that level, 1,000 to 3,000 followers, who just like doing what they do, and you approach them and say, we really like you, you've got a good vibe, you know, we see that you've got a lot of interest, would you want to be an ambassador, you know, and actually, you know, those kind of people can be really pleased that you've approached them, you know, they might not be working, and they might not be working with any brands as well, so you can be part of their journey as they then increase their following, you get content from them, you know, you can help share their platforms as well. So there is a lot to be said about that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more genuine as well, because I think sometimes the influencers and stuff, you know, like people think they're getting paid, and like I think they're kind of on a level that's not. I'm not saying they're not genuine. That's not what I mean. But I think it just seems a little more like niche down, a little more personal when it comes to people like that, because like the micro influencers, because I think they're a little bit more like it's all around the same kind of. So it'll all be around something maybe economic, like not economical, something like eco-friendly. So it'll all be around the same thing. Whereas the bigger influencers will have a whole different array of things that they're looking at, and so I think it feels more personal, and it's more like niche down to what other people are looking for, and I think that feels more genuine.
Absolutely, and when you get a bigger influencer, and you'll pay for them to post once, for example. So you've got that. Whereas if you get somebody early on and you're the only one that's ever approached them and the only brand that they're working with, then they'll be engaged and invest themselves in your journey. And it's stuff like that you can then be, you know, you do a new photo shoot, you provide them with content, you can then get to a point maybe where you have a conversation where they're you know, they're not just an ambassador and getting free things, they could become an affiliate, where then they're actually rewarded financially. So the more that they sell, the more you sell, and everyone makes money together. So you can almost sell up as a system as well. There's also a lot to be said about networks. I mean, you're in with a network there, and you within a niche is finding other networks that fit, and that's like clearly a scuba girl network, but you're very ethically minded and focused as a business. It's like, right, where is an ethical platform? You know, where's an ethical group where people hang out and enjoy, you know, looking at products and brands like yourself. So that's also another route that can be really good to look at. I mean, is it just purely swimwear at the moment? Have you got anything else that you already brought into the range? Have you got all of these like sparkly ideas already to go? We could go down that route. We could go down that route.
Yeah, so there's a lot we want to do. At the minute, we just produce swimwear. We've been we've looked at leggings, because obviously a lot of people who dive or swim and surf and that like wear leggings and stuff. And there are other little few things in the pipeline that I'm going to keep to myself.
All right, okay.
Definitely, leggings was definitely the next step. So, but yeah, the thing is, there's a lot of different things we've been thinking about. So it's which one we tackle first, and there is a whole array of things you can do these days. So yeah, I think we're just in like talk stages of where we're going to go next. So we need to make a proper decision. Now it's starting to get there. We're doing the legwork and stuff. We need to kind of push some more things as well.
Well, it's great to hear you've clearly got options there in terms of bringing products into the range. It's more about, you know, you guys deciding on where that might be right in terms of your business growth. And also, I guess it also comes down to, you know, how it looks when people are, you know, not that many people are going on holidays. So, you know, so I'm sure you've seen the impact of that. Ways you've benefited from the growth of the brand and the business because you've had excess time on your hands. You know, are people buying bikinis in the same numbers that they normally would? So, you know, there's always things at play, especially with the pandemic that we're experiencing. But it's great that you've got options of different products to bring in, and it's often you find that your hand might be turned as well. It's like because something starts trending, and you're like, actually, we need to go to that quicker. So, okay, well, Well, I normally ask where people can find you, but I'm kind of, before we do that, I'm curious that if anybody wants to explore being an ambassador with you guys, what you've talked about the kind of scuba. What does an ambassador look like? Who is it that you're looking to work with?
So we're looking to work with people that let's get this straight. So like when you start a business, you know your target market. So somebody who is our target market, so somebody who's a traveller, probably a scuba diver, female obviously, but yeah, somebody that it just basically encompasses what our sustainability and a lover of the ocean, somebody who is about trying to reduce plastic, somebody who is, eco-conscious, somebody who wants to, to replicate that in their swimwear and take on board and really, really sure that they want to look after the ocean and be more self-conscious of what's happening around us.
Mm-hmm.
Just somebody.
Cool. And where can people find you? What's your website, your social hubs?
So we are www.SeaMogens with the Morgens with an en.com, and you can find us as SeaMogens on Instagram or Pinterest or on Facebook.
Awesome. And right, so final question, what are you most looking forward to, let's say, in the next 3 months in terms of the business? What excites you the most when you think of what's to come?
You know what? This is so sad, right? But so I'm really excited because I've been getting really into SEO and stuff like that, and we're trying to climb the ranks of Google, and we're climbing the pages at the minute, and it's so sad for me, and that because I'm the kind of the website person. But what excites me is getting to that first page of Google, and is that really silly? But but also we've got another project coming out. We don't know what it's going to be with the whole COVID thing. So we're going to be in partnership with Shark Guardian, which is a conservation thing. So but we're not launching a new print and a new style. So that's probably the most exciting thing that's happening. And it's going to be like I say, it's in partnership with Shark Guardian, who are doing an amazing job. So yeah, that's quite exciting.
That sounds awesome. Well, feel free to drop content on our group. It's all positive, ethical stuff. So we'd love to keep up to date with what's going on and how you're doing it.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, Angela Morgan, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. It's great to see you. Good
no,
work.
awesome, man. And do keep us up to speed, and we will enjoy watching your journey ahead.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Business Lockdown.
Please comment, like, share and subscribe to help build our global community.
We look forward to seeing you all soon.